All right. My name is Isaac Raphael. Welcome to Kiblan TV.
Thank you.
I'll give you the opportunity to tell the audience who you are.
Okori Brian is my name. A passionate Pan-Africanist and a youth leader, most importantly. Yes, sir.
Interesting. It actually catches our topic.
Okay.
It actually brings us right to our topic because we are talking about empowering the African youths in entrepreneurship, trade, and development.
That is so key.
So, since we have a youth leader here, you're the voices of every person out there.
Indeed.
Concerning entrepreneurship and then our well-being as the young people in Africa, most especially in maybe East Africa, because I believe you're from Uganda.
From Uganda, yeah?
Yes. So, what is your say about the empowering of the youths concerning entrepreneurship in Africa? Let's start from there. What have you seen? Most especially dealing with the post-COVID era, because when you are to find out before COVID came in, the way of the fundings and how things were running out were different. Now, when COVID came in, we had to adjust.
Okay.
So, what is your say? What have you seen as a youth leader?
I think first and foremost is we need to understand the broad understanding of what entrepreneurship is.
Yes.
And also understand that the Africa as a whole, maybe even if you're to break down the scope to East Africa or Uganda, you have a very big membership and number of young people. The question gets back to a two-sided direction. Who empowers the young people? Do they empower themselves, or they're looking at some people to empower them? And another question will come out that are the young people ready for the same empowerment? But to thank the young people, it is there's been a significant growth in the number of young people enterprising. But again, the question that comes after that is the sustainability. Out of the very many enterprises that young people come up with in the name of being entrepreneurs, if there are 10 young people, maybe 2 will sustain. And again, the question will be like, so the challenges may be there around, but at the end of the day, it is to thank them first for getting part of the sector, that is the money and economic sector. Africa as a whole, we well know that many young people first take a bigger time of their life in school, trying to generate the foundation. Then now maybe after that, some that get into entrepreneurship first go into employment. After employment, generate some small money, then maybe go and be an entrepreneur. But most of them, as of late, are doing what you could call entrepreneurship or extrapreneurship, where you have a given job, but you step aside and do something small for just maybe a few survival ins there and there.
It's very interesting you talked about the education sector in Africa at large, where most people are occupied, and the teachers or the curriculum is not straightforward to what a person is supposed to be. I want to draw my question from there. Now that in Uganda a curriculum has been pushed out, I don't know whether you have taken time to visit that curriculum. Accordingly, do you think it favors the young people more? That because you have talked that most of them are more of extra entrepreneurship. They're just extra.
So getting into there.
So do you actually feel that the curriculum can actually push better entrepreneurship? So we shall come back to empowerment.
I know.
Which people empower. Yes, sir.
Key to understand is I've been one of, I think I've been a student leader before transiting now to youth leadership. I was the national treasurer at Uganda Students Association, as Minister of Education. I went to the East African level, as the Staff Students Union in Arusha, and I went up to the All Africa Students Union. Our advocacy has been curriculum review over and over. Why learn theoretical things? Why teach me about who discovered what? Not teach me on what I can discover. So we want to first thank the government of Uganda to a given magnitude for holding on to the pledge of making the curriculum much more practical than the theoretical one. That's why you're saying to that now the curriculum has shifted a little. The young people are out there, they have a lot of practicals. The assessments are not basically on how much you've passed the examination. So the curriculum for a long time all over Africa has failed the young entrepreneurs from coming up because they are basically trained in a job seeking mindset. Before or even now, when you were a doctor, people's perspective, they would think that you have more money than a businessman, which is a lie, or an engineer or something. But I think slowly by slowly, with this curriculum that is out there now, we believe that the young people come up with a clear mindset of I can finish school and all I need is capital and the rest. You can also acknowledge the skilling opportunities. If you look at the technical colleges, both certificate awarding and diploma awarding, these days is basically have the skill, go out with your hand, is it a hand saw and hammer? Then from there you're already self-employed, so you're an entrepreneur. You just to buy timber and make chairs. So at least the transition, the direction that has been taken all over East Africa and Africa is that let's stop job seeking now.
So they're more of putting a mindset of I can actually select what to do from this period and move on with that.
Definitely.
Very interesting to actually understand. I want to challenge this question that you, in your statement,
yes,
you have mentioned empowerment. That's the first.
Okay.
And then are the young people actually ready?
Yeah, that's what the question I asked.
That is the biggest thing. And you said out of the 10 of the people that get into entrepreneurship, 2 will succeed in Africa.
That's true.
We have people who are branching from one business they have started to another. A person doesn't take 3 months in a business. So my question is, do we have the people to empower? That's the first question.
Okay.
And then how best can we make actually the young people get ready for this, for the empowerment?
Most important is the information out there. And are they willing to get the information? But that's another question for another day. When we talk about empowerment, it's a broad and very broad discussion. But who empowers? There can be self-empowerment. That is if you have the capacity. To be an entrepreneur, you need capital. That's basically having a big financial capacity. In Uganda, here, you may need to have close to millions of money to be a meaningful entrepreneur to compete in the market. And that is only attained if maybe you have a good family background, you have some piece of land you're going to sell, then come an enterprise. But these organic entrepreneurs who are getting clear empowerment, let's say through government programs like the ones of Who Got Money and Yoga, now we have the parish development model. That organic entrepreneur who's a young man who has been given this 1 million shillings and starts small to grow up, very minimal. And many are not willing. So empowerment begins from accepting and allowing you yourself, then the other parameters come out to help you. We are aware of very many opportunities out there. We have of High Innovator, NSSF program that is giving money to entrepreneurs, but basically we're just entrepreneurs. Of course, you have something like a company and all that. The opportunities are there. But a bigger number of young people, that comes with, are they ready? Don't seek for this information. Would not want even to watch such a TV talk show, would want to wait for a music interlude to listen to who's dressing best. So that given mindset can only be worked upon when there are better stories of young entrepreneurs like Ham in Uganda, and very, very many more who are saying, okay, I'm 30, I'm 35, I'm 40, but look at what I'm doing right now. So that they be like, okay, that means I can start now and be something better. So there is this discussion, even if a government or a group of individuals picked money and gave to every young person, after 3 months we'll get to them poor.
Mindset. It brings the statement, you can take the goat to the well, but you can't force it to drink.
Definitely.
When you actually look, recently, the things that have been increasing on media, was especially the young people kicking people, stealing money, and all that. You have mentioned a very important point, that how many of the young people are actually watching such shows. Now, bringing us back to the curriculum, do you think the curriculum can actually help in that area?
You see, there is less that can go into a person, like let me say information, and changes the entire understanding. The curriculum, one of the main objectives is basically to have the skilling objective and not to job seeking so much because of the high rates of unemployment. But it is not going to come and talk to that young person who is not willing to work. Now that one, most of them get to start willing to start wanting to work when life itself hits them in the corners. You see, when you go out there, the biggest number of ladies and young girls who are working, either they're single mothers, either they have very bad histories of hardship. But this very young girl who can afford basic needs, or a very young boy who can afford basic needs, is the worst. I always tell someone that, you see, it is very hard to deal with a person who can afford basic needs. A person who can feed, sleep, buy airtime, and they're the worst people. Any advice you give them doesn't matter. Not until they start lacking one of them is when they go and rise out. So even if we spoke in Chinese about empowerment, entrepreneurship, go. But if say, a young man is still at home and dad is giving some money to him, he will look at you as just a piece of a cake that is not futuristic. But at the end of the day, we should allow the common laws of life to flow the right way.
It is interesting. I was actually seeing currently with our government is investing more in agriculture.
Yes.
It's investing more in infrastructure, then also oil energy.
Yeah.
This is what is actually, and most of the, I think I was reading somewhere, the UK is actually planning to come in to move with the government in that area.
Yeah.
So when we look at the perception, have you ever been in the garden? Have you a person that has maybe yourself familiar with
no, I don't want
agriculture?
I don't want to claim what I've not been into agriculture, but I have been into this enterprising life so much.
So it brings me back to that question now. If the government is actually pushing more investments in that area, a young person out there, how best do they manage to fit into that corner?
My saying no didn't mean that I didn't get the sense of a bit of being there, but the most important thing is you cannot do everything again. Along the way, why those businesses fail we are talking about is a lack of specialization. Today the man is doing this, that there's the other one is working, but here man, tell me what. But even betting is working. Oh, let me first invest some 1 million in betting. So at the end of the day, they hit a snag. I'm happy there are a few young people. I have a few stories I meet when in Bali. I met a group of young people who have a piggery and got farming. When you go to Western Uganda, and most of them in Kampala here have some cows they're buying home. That's still agriculture. Others in the hills of Gisu, Rango, Teso, they are into commercial farming now, not for subsistence anymore. To empower them is the question still. You said government is investing in agriculture here, but if it is going to invest money the way it is investing, like it gives money to NADS, then they claim they have bought each goat at 100 million shillings. Then the next day that all the goats died, it will be a TV room investment. Because the claim will be that we have given up. But to who? You know very well that some of his programs literally end at either district or even national levels, because the people still are not enlightened. People don't watch TV in this country. If your boss is calculating, but if you get the results of how many homes you have TVs, they may not be more than 2 million homesteads. How many have? There may be more than 3 million homesteads. So the problem with our bigger population is we think that Uganda is the streets around the cities and the rest. There is a community that to listen to a radio, they collect communally. So now that information that this empowerment program is coming is zero. We have high illiteracy rates. It is just today that we have many people going to school. But still, when you go down to the villages there, out of the 10 million students, people in primary school, people who transit to secondary school don't be more than 3 million. While the 7 million, they go back into early marriages. That's a bigger discussion, sir. So we're just sort of broaden, but the most important thing here is information not reaching the right people, and also blocking of the projects from reaching still the right people. And the problem here is the rich are rich and the poor are poor. And again, another issue is those who have don't want, those that don't have to know how they got. They just say, "Oh, God helped me. How did you get this big house?" It is God. I've been praying. You don't. That is a sarcastic answer. You can't say I've been praying. There is something you did right. So mankind is that way. But either way, the best you can do is to keep, maybe through this discussions and engagements, you will have like maybe 3-4 people will change, and 5, 6, 7. Then after maybe a decade, we have a better nation.
You have talked over the parish development. I want to get there because it is a very interesting topic where the government, it has now drawn it to the parish.
Yes.
But from your opinion, what are the basics or the things that they have put to follow up such people? Is that money given to every kind, or they have actually sat down to look at a young person, seen that this person has been in business, he has done this, and because I have a belief that very many people have been handed over that money and they have used it to feed their family.
Yeah, true. And the parish development model was basically a program. I don't want to speak on behalf of government, I'll be wrong to validate what I don't understand, but I want to assume, because I remember at its beginning, I was in one of the meetings as Minister of Gender. The idea was to create a group, let's say a group of 10. In that group of 10, at least have 30% as young people below the age of 30. Have the disabled in it as well, and have the normal elderly people in it as well. In these very groups, each of these people should come up with an idea of what they want to do or what they are doing. Because you cannot just say people who don't have anything they're doing as well, because they maybe want to have what to do. So if you have an idea, let's say poultry, they come and maybe check on you and know where you want to put it. I want to assume those background checkups are being done. So with that narrative, we don't want to rate its success or failure a year of its implementation. Because if you go and watch other testimonies, you hear people who have opened parish development restaurant, in places. So there are those who have success stories. And there are those also who pick the money very fast, like you're saying, and went to the closest bar and paid school fees and I ended at that. So I think the question here is there going to be an accountability follow-up on who got the money? What is nice this time is money was not given hard cash. You were supposed to have a bank account where your details are being tracked. So I believe they can always trace whoever took that money and has not done anything. And again, the idea is return this money, but with a very low interest rate for a long time. Leave the other programs where the people used to just go and sign yoga, youth fund, you come as a group, they give you 10 million, you disappear as a few 3 wise youth. So I want to assume this one has come to really help, not as a political tool mobilization.
Oh.
I want to assume.
You want to assume?
Yeah, we can't be sure.
We can't be sure, yes. I was very careful when I was asking that question, not knowing that I'm not a government official, but I just wanted to have
but there are some young people these days who are very combative in supporting government. There's one that I knew in Chambogo who was called Ezutia, was very hard in supporting the NRM at every point. He said this road is going to be worked on next week.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about empowering the African youths, most especially in the section of entrepreneurship, trade, and development. Now, I want to pose you my second last question, so we can get out of here. When we are talking entrepreneurship, you as a person, now this I want you to speak from your personal experience, not what you have had people. You as a person, is there something you're doing regarding entrepreneurship?
Yeah, very big in entrepreneurship. When I was at college, because I went to UTC Oregon, I did my diploma in civil engineering before I came to Chambogo. When we left college, everyone was thinking of going to be an engineer somewhere. A few group of young people who are thinking alike like us started up a given company that deals in construction, general interior works, and everything. So when you speak entrepreneurship, I understand how you will open an office and you have no seats. Then one client will come and then will buy seats tomorrow. Another client will make you buy a TV. Then now you start having profits, sir.
Oh, okay. Now it brings me to, I asked you that question for a reason. Now, I want you to speak personally for someone who is listening to you and maybe is in your seat and does not know what to do. How best have you managed? What are the challenges you have faced? And what have you seen the biggest problem young people have and you overcame it?
One is you must have a SWOT analysis of what you're going to do. The strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Professionalism is also key. And again, the challenges you have, of course, the taxes are there. You pay a license. URA comes, also does its own assessment. At the end of the day, you want to put a banner out to show what your business talks about, you are going to be, taxed for that. Yesterday I was quarreling with some of them who were going to go and do assessment. So at the end of the day, those challenges are there because the standard of living is high. If you're having a staffing of, let's say, 10 people, they must eat in every day. For them, they do not care whether you're working or not. The salary must arrive. They are very relaxed. You send one to a site, they sleep. I'm just giving you to understand, they increase their time frame of being there. Because that's the still mindset. And again, young people are lazy. Quick money. They don't live a dream. To pick 2 young people, 3 who don't have, and say, let's go and do this and make money, will be big. They will not. They will want where they're getting 100,000 and the day end that way. So even when you're trying to work along with them, here, there, others come. We've also been dealing in a little bit of beddings and what, so you could easily come, you have your ID, put it aside, pick some products, go sell and come back. There's one who came in one day, very good, gave his national ID complete, photocopy of the complete, picked products of what the 200 disappeared. And I said, how do you leave an ID? They're like, for 200,000 shillings on day one. There are many who do the same. Others do so. That juggling, definitely, those are challenges. But the bigger thing is to remain with the correct vision and to see how to work on with a bigger, solid team. And again, working with older people is better these days. That's why you see people who are in offices would only want the young people if they are receptionists. But if it is real technical work, they will say, no, you first go and get experience. But if your receptionist is a young guy between 20 to 24, we want your reception because they know you are part of the marketing tool of the organization.
They know you're just
there to do something, yeah.
And run.
So that's the biggest thing we face out there. Of course, inadequate capital. None of those ones are normal. Because every organization has a big dream. And every time it is growing, there's a bigger dream. We had the one room from the beginning to another bigger showroom, another room. Every time you want to grow and grow and grow. So you cannot say that the money will never be enough, in short. So that challenge is a constant until you die.
Oh.
Money being enough? Nah.
So money is not
an
issue?
Never. No, it's an issue, but it will never be enough.
It will never be enough.
When you are young, when you don't have, you go, if I have 1 million shillings, I'll do a lot of things. You get it, God, let me now have 2. You now have 100, you want 1 billion. You have you want 1 trillion.
All right.
That's it. Besides the again, that's again life and what mankind is.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, we have had a very good topic and conversation. I've enjoyed it. Entrepreneurship. I think the one leaf I have picked is that very many young people do not like to live on a dream.
They want quick. But sometimes also they have their past experiences. There's some people you deal with, you're partnering up with a person, you think you're growing a dream, you try to grow, it puts you aside. So it's hard to blame. It's two-way. But most important is it's like going to church can be good and bad. But what is good? Going to church. So you go to church.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to drop it from here.
Thank you.
My name has been Elama Isaac Raphael. And my guest today has really actually taught us a lot. I think one wise man said that when you sit in the corner of a wise man, you keep quiet.
Please.
And you learn more. From Akiblan TV,
yeah,
we'd like to say bye.
Thank you so much.